I cannot believe I've got all my daughters under one roof.
So her parents believe their straight daughter brought home her lesbian friend for Christmas?
Not exactly. They also think that I'm straight.
Have they ever met a lesbian?
You know, it brings a smile, so we just keep playing that for you. Happiest Season is a movie with some big stars, Kristen Stewart, Dan Levy in a very prominent role there. One of a whole new crop of Christmas movies, LGBTQ films, released for this holiday season. Part of a trend that caught Eli's eye, so he's back with us from his home, getting set for his holidays and looking to these holiday offerings. As I said, it's a whole new landscape, Eli.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So Happiest Season really kind of kicked off this discussion. There was a time a few weeks ago, I couldn't open Twitter without being just like enveloped in a discussion about who Kristen Stewart's character should have ended up with. How did Harper behave? I mean, people had so many feelings about this film, and it seemed to really strike a chord in an audience, certainly wider than just LGBTQ. And so this, which was originally released on Hulu and streaming in Canada, turned out to be quite the success, and also, I think, part of this new wave of content that we're noticing in the traditionally very traditional holiday genre. And so other films that are popping up under the mistletoe this year, Christmas House from the Hallmark Channel, featuring a gay couple. It's a very big change for the channel. There's Dashing in December on the Paramount Network. There's the Christmas Setup on the Lifetime Network. Now, I reached out to Kristen Baker in Nashville. She's the producer and director of a couple of holiday films made for queer viewers. Last year, they made a movie called Season of Love, which got a great response for their audience. She was getting a lot of her customers saying, we want to see our own selves in these Christmas films. This year, they're releasing I Hate New Year's, but a lesbian couple in Nashville. And what she was telling me is a part of the need is like we have had a lot of great, powerful, dramatic movies with gay and lesbian storylines, but they are quite serious. And there was something that was missing for her audience. Take a look.
Their unrequited love, their, I can't be with you because society tells me that, or I'm coming out, but my Mormon parents are going to hate me. And, it's all of that we absolutely experience. And some people still experience that. But I think what was also missing was sort of this classic, tropey, fabulous, happy love story.
Everybody wants their serving of holiday mush. These movies are comfort food, and why shouldn't gay and lesbian audiences be able to enjoy that like the rest of us? That was really what she said, is that we want our happy endings. We want our fun, cheesy stuff. No one is saying that this is Hamlet, but they certainly want to see themselves represented in the genre along with everyone else.
So is that that desire to see that Hollywood, that Hallmark moment, is that really the explanation why the change and the broader industry change, Eli?
I mean, from the audience, yes, but from the industry, I think actually, interestingly, it's a business case and a convincing one. So I talked to GLAAD CEO and President Sarah Kate Ellis. This is the Gay and Lesbian Advocacy Group. And what she has noticed is a real big shift. You look at the demographics in America, for example, I think if you look at like 18 to 34, you're seeing as much of the population as 30% identifying as LGBTQ in one way or another. Now, if you look at representation on television, it's changing, but in terms of characters on screen, it's still in single digits. But what Ellis was telling me is what really has changed for the creators and the producers and the executives is a shift in that business model and what now makes sense. Take a look.
In the past, it was risky to show LGBTQ people in their minds because it could cost them business. And now what they've realized, because of the population growth, because of the younger generation, because it's been proven time and time again that it is actually a really good business model to be diverse and inclusive, they're realizing that the real risk is leaving communities out.
And, Sarah Kate Ellis was reminding me that it was just last year that the Hallmark Channel, they had a commercial featuring a same-sex couple at a wedding, and it was pulled down because there was a backlash, and they removed it, and then they apologized for the removal, and she had to explain to her children why that commercial was pulled from air. And then contrast that to just a few weeks ago, where Sarah Kate Ellis and her wife and her kids got out the hot cocoa, got out the cookies, sat down on the couch and watched Happiest Season with these big fancy Hollywood stars. And I asked her what that felt like. Take a look.
I literally couldn't believe it. I mean, having grown up LGBTQ, I think oftentimes we haven't really known what life was going to be. We didn't see a path in a lot of ways. And I would have never thought that moment would have ever existed if you asked me at 21. And so it was kind of amazing.
What a difference a year makes. It really is a bit of a sea change that we're seeing. And that's not to say the work is done. You talk to creators, you talk to critics. There's still more that needs to be done in terms of people of color in these films, kind of a wider spectrum of characters in these LGBTQ storylines. And that's the challenge, that when you only have a few of these films, they have to kind of shoulder everything. They have to represent all things for all people. But as we get more, we'll start to see more of those issues solved on screen, and everyone can enjoy their mistletoe mush.